DeFi and Ethereum really being like the prime hype around DeFi, what do you look for in terms of projects being built on Ethereum that you said your fund invests in?
Yeah, so let me separate that into DeFi first and then the Ethereum aspect of it. So DeFi in general, I look at DeFi and I kind of expand the definition a little bit more. And it fits into something I call automated finance. So if you look at automated finance, that's basically machines running transactions, interactions, all that kind of stuff. DeFi specifically is maybe not automated, but it's decentralized, right? And so you can still have humans participating. So the way that I think about it is 100% of DeFi will be automated, but 100% of automated finance, or I'm sorry, some portion of automated finance will not be decentralized, right? So the bigger opportunity is not DeFi, it's automated finance. And automated finance as a category will have some DeFi in there. I think that it has incredible value. And we've actually invested in a number of things that kind of fall in that bucket. But to me, it's less about the decentralized aspect and it's much more about the automated finance element. And there's people in the Ethereum community that kind of disagree with me on that, whatever. But ultimately, that's what I think is kind of where the value is going to accrue is automated finance. It's just a much bigger addressable market. The second thing is Ethereum today, for most use cases that people are trying to build on, is probably the best thing to use, right? So we tend to think that a lot of the work that's happening on Ethereum, it ends up being R&D, right? So if you look at pretty much everything that's built on the DeFi side on Ethereum, in the grand scheme of the world, it doesn't matter. Like it's so small that it doesn't matter. And by the way, like Bitcoin as a currency doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the global financial system either, right? So it's not a knock against Ethereum. It's just the law of numbers. It's just the way to look at the size. And so what has to happen here is one of two things are going to occur. Either people are going to continue to build much more usability, better user experiences, all of that kind of stuff into decentralized finance applications that are built on top of Ethereum, or that is going to happen using Bitcoin as the core function of money, right? And I wrote this post one time where I drew kind of two different diagrams. On one side, I said you have decentralized money. It's provably a store of value. It's provably a medium of exchange. It's got sound money principles. That's Bitcoin. All of the infrastructure historically around Bitcoin, though, has been centralized. Right? If you look at all the exchanges, if you look at all the custody providers, like all of that stuff has been very centralized. So you got a decentralized money with a centralized infrastructure around it. On the other side of kind of the court, if you will, in the competition, is you have decentralized infrastructure. This is all the DeFi stuff that we're talking about. But you have money that actually isn't money, right? ETH is money is not true. It's just a fiat currency. And again, people may use it to exchange value, but ultimately it will succumb to the same thing that every other fiat currency has, right? If you can print money, you will do it, right? And so mark my words, Ether will eventually print money at some point because that's what they're financially incentivized to do. So you get one of two things. Either you bring Bitcoin over and you have it kind of operate in the DeFi infrastructure that exists today. That's things like wrapped Bitcoin, TBTC, all those types of efforts. Or you bring the decentralized infrastructure over to Bitcoin, right? Now, there's some technical challenges with doing that, right? That's why Ethereum ultimately and Vitalik created Ethereum. But we do think that that's what's going to happen is that latter example, right? You're going to see decentralized infrastructure built around Bitcoin. We've made a couple of investments there. I don't think that that's going to happen in the next 1 to 3 years in terms of like a mainstream mass adopted product. I do think, though, over the next 20 years, that's where you're going to see a lot of the value accrue. We could be wrong on it, but if we're wrong, the way that we think about it is we're not wrong in the sense of Bitcoin isn't money. It's just that Bitcoin will then be wrapped or somehow brought over to the DeFi infrastructure, right? So we've actually made investments on both sides. And the way that we look at it is we're going to be wrong on one of the bets. The one that ends up being right is going to more than pay for the one that we're wrong on. Right? I have my own personal opinion, but we're not stupid, right? As a capital allocator, we're going to bet on both and see what happens. And net basis will end up making money. But I personally think that the infrastructure around Bitcoin will become decentralized over time.
Hey, great clip.
Yeah, Pomp's the man.
If you want to check out the full conversation, there's a link to the full episode down below in the description.
And if you're interested in more Bitcoin and cryptocurrency content, make sure you subscribe to the channel.